The State of Logistics report basically is a measure of the supply chain, the impact of the supply chain or logistics on the U.S. economy. So obviously it has a lot of impacts on the consumer. And you can look at it impacts in terms of how you get your goods, the availability of your goods. And this year's report in particular is saying that retail sales have been fairly slow. We ordered ahead in inventory, so we've had a pretty big buildup in inventory. In fact, inventory levels are actually higher at this point than they were at the worst during the recession. So at some point those inventories have to come down, and I'm not seeing pent up demand that's going to clear those inventories out. So I think you can start expecting to see sales. We're starting to see even retail inventories climbing, where the retail part of the industry seemed to have done a really good job of pushing the inventory back down on wholesalers and manufacturers. But now we've got a glut of retail inventory. So your retail shelves are probably pretty full right now. And most stores you go in, I'm sure you're starting to see sales. I saw summer things coming out on sale as they came out. Garden things coming out 50% off. And that's all looking at what we can expect the economy to do. We look at how much goods are being moved, how much goods are being ordered, and by looking at those things, you have a pretty good indicator of whether or not you're actually going to have the products in time on your shelf. One of the most difficult things that retailers and wholesalers and manufacturers are having right now is trying to forecast what the consumer wants, because it takes just a very small thing for consumer sentiment to go from I'm feeling pretty good to I'm feeling really bad and I'm not going to spend my money now. One of the very interesting things about the State of Logistics report is you can use it to look at a lot of other things that are going on in the economy. And for instance, the high unemployment rate and the low number of jobs that we're creating. And even when we do create the jobs, the greatest portion of those jobs for the last year and a half have been part-time jobs that don't come with benefits and don't have the same feeling that I'm going to have this job still in 6 months. And so we can look at consumer behavior in situations like that and see how it's impacting the orders we're placing and the inventory that's coming in. The consumer should be a little mindful, a little wary if they're seeing everything on deep discount all the time, because that really means the supply chain is broken. We're not doing the things that we should be doing, and it probably, you can back all the way up and find out that it's happening in some other economy that's impacting why we're doing that. But having things on deep discount year round is not a good sign. It's a sign that we're not moving the inventory. Now we're just trying to get whatever dollar we can get back out of it and to cut our losses and stop having to hold it in the warehouse. Is this the new normal? Because I actually believe once we went through the painful drawing down the inventories and the various things and shedding excess capacity in our vehicles, and I think we shed too much, to tell you the truth, really on a capacity basis in quite a few areas. But once we kind of got through those painful pieces, the truth of the matter is we are very productive. We've got the highest utilization rates for most of our system than we've had ever in the system. So from a purely economic point of view, that's a really good thing. But this is we're comfortably moving along at this pace, and I think what that's saying is that a little bit higher unemployment is really kind of going to be with us for a while.